If you're looking for that perfect pizza dough recipe with a nice crunchy outside and a light airy inside, look no further. If you've seen our recent cook on our outdoor wood fire oven, you've seen our homemade Neapolitan pizza dough. So today I'm going to show y'all that. A lot of you have asked. After months and months of struggling to find the perfect pizza dough, I finally stumbled across the perfect recipe. So in this recipe, it calls for a 24-hour room temperature fermentation. And what that means is instead of the usual pizza doughs of putting them in the refrigerator to ferment over 24 hours, you want a cool room temperature of below 75 degrees in your house. You're gonna need a lightly greased container that you're gonna put your dough in for 24 hours. And then prior to making your dough and preparing your pizza, you're gonna wanna ball your dough 3 hours prior. So I'm gonna go through all the conversions today. I'm gonna measure with grams on a food scale and also a micro jewelry scale to measure the yeast. Now, if you don't have these scales, it's okay, because I did the legwork for you and I measured out all the ingredients in cups and tablespoons and teaspoons prior to this recipe. So I'll have those down there in the description. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first ingredient we're gonna start out with is 350 milligrams of bread flour. I've already pre-measured this. Put our dry ingredients in here. Next is 150 grams of all-purpose flour, 12.5 grams of salt. I also use the micro scale for the salt and the yeast. 0.3 grams of fast-rising instant yeast. I did 6 grams of sugar. And now you want to mix your dry ingredients up before you put your wet ingredients in and start mixing. Next, we're gonna add our olive oil. We're gonna add 10 grams of extra virgin olive oil. In this recipe, it calls for 310 grams of refrigerated cold water. So we're gonna add that in. You want all the ingredients to be incorporated before we start mixing and kneading on the counter. Now, one of the reasons this recipe does not show to use a mixer is because you want to keep all the ingredients nice and cool. And in the mixer, it heats up the ingredients and that kind of messes with the fermentation process. Once all your ingredients are incorporated, then you're going to put it on a countertop and start the kneading. With the kneading, it's going to be 5 to 7 minutes. We're going to put this in here, and in 30 minutes we're going to do some stretch and folds to this dough. We're going to do that twice, and then we'll let it rest for 24 hours and let it ferment. All right, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to show y'all some stretch and folds, which is going to help build that gluten in this dough. You're going to fold over each side here 4 ways. All right, we're gonna do this again in another 30 minutes. We're gonna fold each corner again, let it rest for 24 hours, and then we'll ball our dough 3 hours prior to cooking. All right, so I've already opened this container and spoiled it, but it did degas a little bit. But this is what it should look like. When you open the center, you should have all this good texture in here. This recipe will either make 2 large or 3 small to medium pizzas, but we're gonna make 2 large pizzas. So at this point, our dough has been sitting for 24 hours and we're ready to separate and ball it up so that we can cook in 3 hours. All right, it's been 3 hours and now time for the messy part. And I am no professional pizza maker, so I'm not gonna be tossing it up in the air or anything special like that. I'm still learning my technique of how to make my pizza here. So I have my all-purpose flour. I'm gonna throw my dough on here. And this dough has a lot of moisture in it, which I think does really well for it too. So you just wanna get it in all this flour, get it spread out. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put some cornmeal on my wooden peel. So hopefully it won't stick. Just kind of lightly spread that on. It helps it slide off the peel as well. All right, so I bulk make my homemade pizza sauce and I freeze it, so it's really easy to get these containers out the night before I'm gonna do my pizza and thaw it out. And it tastes just as fresh as the day I made it. And if you'd like to see my sauce recipe, drop us a comment and we'll also do a video on that as well. All right, so I'm gonna top this pizza with some mozzarella cheese and some pepperoni. We're gonna get those pepperonis nice and crisp, the way Andrew likes them. I worked at 2 different pizza places growing up. My first one was Papa John's and the second job was at Pizza Hut. So I have a little bit of experience. I was mainly the pizza cutter.
All right, so now it's my turn to take over and cook this pizza. We're gonna be cooking it a unique way on a custom-built wood-fired pizza oven right here. This is a big combination fire pit, oven, and pizza oven grill that we just built here on the channel. You may wanna check that video out. But today's video is all about this pizza dough recipe. But I want to let y'all know we're cooking it straight over coals. We have a pizza stone in here that's been preheating for 30+ minutes. We're letting the flames die down a little. And looking at the temperature back here, we're running around 650 degrees. We can get up to 1,000+ on this cooker right here. Our last pizzas we cooked at about 600 and they cooked in 3 to 4 minutes. They cook so fast over open flames and coals like this. Now the reason I mention all that, you may not have an outdoor wood-fired pizza oven. The majority of you won't. So your cook times and conditions are gonna vary based on you using an oven in the house. So keep that in mind. What we're gonna show you today is unique to our cooking situation. Your results will vary. It's a good time to mention this entire area out here that you're seeing. We just put up the privacy fence. We're about to rock all of this in, put sinks and all on the back wall. We're custom building all of our own wood-fired cooking appliances out here. This is going to be a large outdoor entertaining and cooking area for things just like this. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you follow the channel. All right, y'all, I've got all my protective gear on because when you open this up, you get hit in the face with some heat right here. But we're gonna put the pepperoni pizza on right here that we've just made up. We've also got some more that we're gonna cook. Since we've already lit all of these coals, we typically do at least 2 pizzas at one point in time. All right, let's see if we can get this on. Tried to stick on me just a little, but we're gonna go with it. All right, so we're gonna start checking this about 2 minutes in. In the past, this is only our second ever cook on this new appliance right here that I made. It took 3 to 4 minutes. Every pizza we've cooked, we've taken off within 4 minutes. So we're gonna watch it closely. Take a look at that, rising up beautifully. All right, y'all, been about 4 minutes. We're gonna pull this off. Oh boy, that looks good.
All right, y'all, listen to this crunch.
So we tried something new today with this crust and brushed it with a seasoned butter. And here's what you can expect your crust to look like if you don't brush it. And I'd say this one rose really, really well. So brushing could make a difference. By the way, this is a pickle pizza, believe it or not. We're gonna have to show you how to make one of these in an upcoming episode. These pizzas are wonderful. So if you'd like to see that, drop us a comment below. All right, y'all, this new pizza oven and this pizza dough recipe has been awesome. This turns out so good, so fluffy, so crunchy. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. We'll catch you on the next episode.